In this session, we are going to talk about file properties. When you're creating a file, we're going to manipulate these files. We're going to see where the file is, maybe the name of the file, what all we can do with the file and its properties. Like say for example, if you take file as an object, it will have its own properties. You can read, you can write, you can hide your file. So whatever it is, Java has certain common methods which will manipulate your files. These methods are called as file properties. So in this session, we're going to see the file properties and sample programs to go along with it. Some of the common file properties over here is the get name. The get name method returns the name of the specified file or a directory, which can be then taken, passed on as an object and manipulated further on. The get path returns the path name of the specified file if it resides in the program directory. Otherwise, it will give the path as to where the file resides, but the user has to give the entire path. If not, it will return an error. The get absolute path will return the file right from the root directory. Like say for example, I have a file in the F:\Java folder. I have a file 4.txt. Let's name it as file 4.txt. And my program is in Java1. My program is in Java1 under the name file4.java. Now, when I am trying to get the name of the file 4.txt or the absolute path of the file, I usually use a double dot. You know what a double dot is usually used for? Like say for example, when I want to go to the parent directory, I use cd double dot in my command prompt. So I use that to name or go to my parent directory. Then I use a /java1 and the file 4.txt or java.file4.txt. This is how I am going to name my file in my program, that is file 4.java. What happens when I run the program is my absolute path will show as F:\Java1 ... which means the cd ... once again, which means it has gone to the parent directory. Then the F:/Java/file4.txt is a file. That is going to be the absolute path for your absolute path method. I hope you're clear with this. So it all depends on the way the user gives the input or the path name of the file. The getParent method returns the root directory where the file has been stored. The length returns the number of characters inside the specified file, including spaces. Now in this example, it is written F:\Java/file4.txt. Now the parent directory of file4.txt is F:\Java. Therefore, getParent will return F:\Java as the result. And the length returns a number of characters inside the specified file, including spaces. The isFile method tells if the given name is a file or not. You can check it using conditional operators also, as we'll see in the program. The isDirectory method will tell the name that you passed whether it's a directory or a file. So if it is a directory, it will say it is a directory, else it returns a false message. So once again, the isDirectory is also returns a Boolean value. The can read and the can write are file access permissions that we saw in the previous chapter. The file access permissions have many permissions, like say the read, write and execute. This can read will check to see if the file can be read or not. If it can be read, then it will say that it can be read, once again a boolean value. And the can write is to check if the file can be modified, or in other words edited. The hidden permission is to hide your files. So how do you hide your files? You go to the view menu in your Explorer, you go to the options, the tools and the options, and the folder options. You can hide the file as hidden. But once the file has been hidden, or you right click on the file and say that my file has to be hidden, then the file is hidden, it will not show in that folder. But Java, his hidden method, has the property of going into the folder and checking to see if the file is hidden or not. The list method will list the names of the files in a particular directory. So if you say that you want to see the number of files in a directory, you just give the file, the drive name and the directory name, and then the Java list program will list out all the files in a particular directory, else it returns a null. The delete method will delete the file or directory for which you have to specify the path name. The mkdir, you might remember, is something that we saw in the previous session, wherein I used a program to create a directory and you got a message, create directory created. This mkdir, as you may remember, is also a DOS command for creating a directory, but in this case the file properties mkdir is a method, as you can see with the open and closed braces. This mkdir is a Java method to create a directory for which you have to give the full path name, and the exist method will tell whether the name of the file, when you give the name of the file, it will just tell you if the file exists or not by giving a true or false message. After having seen what file properties are all about, it's only right that we see some programs on file properties. Shall we? In this program, we're going to see how to delete a file. So it's given under the class name file3, and inside the main method I have given a string and I've named it as na is equal to s of 0. The s is here, which means the first parameter that I'm going to pass as a command line argument is going to be the value that is going to be passed into na. Now file f1 equal to new file of na, which means the path that I give will be here, and if f1 exists, then you can delete f1 fi dot delete. This is fi. So if fi file exists, then I'm deleting the file, or if I'm able to delete it, then I'll get this message, file deleted. Or if I'm not able to delete the file, I'll get a message, file was not deleted. But here, if f1 exists, if it doesn't exist, then I'll get an else message over here stating that the file does not exist. So shall we run this program and see how it works? But before that, let me take you to the directory. If you see nd, the welcome folder, I have one file called 1.txt. Now I'm going to delete that file. So I minimize it. I'll go to the command prompt and now I compile file3.java. Yes, now I run the file by giving a command line argument. I say java file3 and I'll give, this is the name of the folder and the name of the file. This is the file that I'm going to delete. and it says file deleted. Now if you see, the file is not there in the drive, which means that the file has been deleted. So a simple program to show how a file can be deleted.
1 second, you can try it one more time. It will show the message.
Now I'll try it once again by typing the same thing, and now it says file does not exist, because it checks the file if it exists. Since it does not exist, it's been deleted, it shows the file does not exist. Now let's go to the next program. This is another program wherein we are going to see the file properties. I have a class file4, and in that I have named f1 is equal to new file, but in C I have used this double dot. As I told you, this double dot, my program is in Java 1. As you can see here, my programs are in Java 1, but I have two folders, one called Java and the other called Java 1, and now this double dot is going to take me to the parent directory f:, and in that I have a Java folder and I have file4.txt. Now this is the object I create, and I passed parameters. So I have created a constructor, and now if f1.exists, I say if f1.exists, if the file exists, then here I print the name of the file, that is I am using the getName method which we saw in our slide. The getName will give you the name of the file, and the next case I am giving you the f1.getPath method which will give the path of the file. The third is the f1.getAbsolute method which will give the absolute method right from the portion where your file, program file resides. So
Absolute path, absolute methods.
getAbsolutePath method will show you from where your file, program file has started, and to the path of where your file resides, that is this particular file. It will just tell you where it resides. It will give you the absolute path. The length will give you the number of characters that are available in that file, and then the parent will give you the parent folder of where the file resides. It will tell you this is a conditional operator that I have done. Now I say f1.isFile. This question mark is an if condition. So if it is a file, it says the true path will be file exists and the false part will be not exists. If the file that you've given is a file name, then it will simply say that is file. If it is a file, it will say file exists. The next instance, I'm going to check if the file is directory. Since it is not a directory, it will give what is there in the false part, not exists. Then it just shows whether my file is read only or not, and the same way it also shows me whether the file can be written or not, and then it shows whether the file is hidden or not. If not all of these, then it will simply throw a message that the required file was not found. So taking this as an example, let's run this program to see how it works. Now I'm going to compile. Now I'll run this program, Java file4. Now if you see, the file name is file4.txt. It shows the file path is, since I have shown a double dot, it will take me to the parent group. It will say Java and file4.txt is where the file resides, wherein I'll just take you to that path. I'll go to the f:, the Java folder, and here if you see I have file 4. Now there are 854 characters in that file. The parent name is just Java. Since file 4.txt is inside Java, it will show the parent folder as Java. Since it is a file, it says file exists. It is not a directory, so it says not exists. It can be read, it can be written, and it is not a hidden file. Now what I'll do is I'll simply delete this file. I'll delete this file. Now that file is not there. Let me try running that program once again, and it will see, you can see that the required file was not found message has been returned. The same way, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the program. What I have is just Java, the folder, right? So I'll now go to the program. I'll compile this file, and now I'll run this file. If you say file 4, the file name is Java, which is the folder. The file path is /Java, and the absolute path is f:/Java1, and then it shows the absolute path Java folder. The number of characters in all the files that is found inside Java is this. The parent name is, since this itself is a directory, it's not showing its parent. It is not a file, but it is a directory. It can be read, it can be written, and is not a hidden file. So from these two programs we know what the file and its properties are. But
The path also you can specify C:. Full path. Now we are showing dot. No, you can give full path.
now I can also give the full path. Now if you see, in the C drive I have a Java folder, and in that Java folder I have a file 4.txt file. I have a file 4.txt file in C file 4. Now if I were to change the path of the file and give the file name as file4.txt. Now let's see how this program runs. I'll save this file. I'll go here and I'll compile the file. Now I'll run the file. The file name is file4.txt and the file path is C:/Java file4.txt. It's showing the complete or the absolute path itself because this file is not inside the folder where your program resides. This file is in some other location, totally in a different root folder. Therefore, the file path is just as same as the absolute path. Whether it's the file path or the absolute path, it will show the same values. The rest are all the ones that we've already seen, but you need to understand how the path and the absolute path work in different situations. So we've seen some programs on file and file properties. We saw how to delete a file, and in file properties we saw the differences between the get path and the get absolute path methods. So till such time we meet you, I'd like to say bye and also thank you. The file, and in file properties